A very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide. We're live on the network service of the NTA. I am Ruth Aguela. We'll begin with news on coronavirus, with the latest recorded cases of 17,000 people infected with the deadly coronavirus globally. The Chinese government has reassured that the virus will soon be a thing of the past, as it is stepping up efforts with the support of other countries to make the virus a thing of the past. Oyeyemi Ajayi is standing by at the Chinese embassy in Nigeria, venue of the press briefing organized by the embassy.
Weeks now, the coronavirus has been on the lips of everyone, causing panic across the globe, with some shutting down their borders with the country it originated from, China. The increasing number of cases prompted the World Health Organization to declare coronavirus a global health emergency. Now, with the bilateral ties enjoyed between Nigeria and China, as amplified by the president's statement, it is more of solidarity to a nation being plagued by this virus and the efforts made so far in combating the scourge. This press briefing by the Chinese embassy to Nigeria is to set the record straight with better information about efforts made so far by the Chinese government. So far, 60 Nigerians who are residents in Wuhan have not contracted the virus. Likewise, Chinese nationals resident in Nigeria have tested negative as well.
Fighting the spread of epidemic is a common concern of the international community. China is willing to work with other countries in the world, including Nigeria, to respond to the epidemic actively. We have informed WHO, World Health Organization, relevant countries, and China's Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan region of the latest epidemic situation, and have shared information on virus gene sequences with all parties at the first time.
This now calls for calm, with the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria urging them not to maltreat Chinese nationals in the country, as the Chinese government has taken more measures required by the international standards to ensure the containment of the virus. China has commenced a nationwide prevention system, first with the building of 1,000 and 1,500 bed space capacity hospitals in Wuhan, which is the epicenter of the virus, within 10 days. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari extends his good wishes to President Xi Jinping and citizens of the People's Republic of China during this trying time. China's efforts to contain the spread of the coronavirus have been exemplary, as well as the country's collaboration with international agencies and other countries on the matter. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, President Buhari notes that China has been exceptionally supportive of Nigeria and Africa, and even more so in recent years. Therefore, it is important to let China know that Nigeria and her citizens are also standing by them at this trying period. He notes that with the efforts put in place, the nightmare will soon pass. President Buhari commends Nigerians for their hospitality towards Chinese nationals and for not letting the coronavirus outbreak create any disturbance or disrupt the peaceful coexistence between Nigeria and China. Let's shift our attention to Lassa fever. Tours for stalling the spread of the disease in the state. Talking about Abuja State, the people are being sensitized to take preventive measures against the resurgence of the Lassa fever disease by cleaning the markets in the state. Let's hear from Steve Nwakolo.
The
resurgence of the deadly Lassa fever with the death of a 28-year-old man at Olokoro community, Umuahia, Abia State, on the 1st of January 2020 has no doubt drawn the attention of the state government towards taking steps to contain the spread of the disease by inaugurating a regular sanitation exercise in the markets.
If it is Lassa fever, for example, we are talking about indiscriminate burning of bushes and so on. They should keep their place and cover their food.
It ensures to sweep the environment when you are done with your work.
To sweep it very well and do the necessary cleanup. The major thing is they should have an organized refuse dump so that all the wastes will be channeled there.
Experts further advocate the maintenance of minimum hygienic standards of washing one's hands with soap at all times, avoid exposure of food grains, fumigation of the environment to get rid of the rats, as well as keeping the markets and the immediate environments clean.
So we should try as much as possible to avoid spreading our food to all these environments that increases its contact with these multi-mammate rats. Some people feed on rats. They see it as a very good food. So at this point in time, we should, as much as possible, stop use of rats as a food product.
As the relevant authorities intensify efforts to bring the situation under control, it then behoves on the people to ensure a cleaner environment at all times. In Umuahia, Steve Lona and Waokolo, NTA News.
And at this point, we join Hingino John in Lagos to bring us more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Hingino.
Hello, Ruth, and thank you for joining us in Lagos. We begin here with the telecommunications sector. It will no longer be business as usual for manufacturers, importers, and dealers of counterfeit telecommunication devices in Nigeria, as the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, is set to clamp down on defaulters. This decision was made known in Lagos by the Nigeria Communications Commission workshop on equipment type approval. Annie Daniels reports that it is the second in the series.
The business of counterfeiting, fake and substandard goods is one of the largest underground industries bedeviling the world and growing rapidly, with money remaining the attraction. Telecommunication experts at this program found that companies, after spending millions of dollars to build brands and reputation, still grapple with daunting challenges.
The Nigerian Communication Commission is aware of the proliferation of substandard phones and other equipment by unpatriotic elements in the society, which are not only detrimental to human health, but also contribute to poor quality of service in the industry.
And these people were tracked, and when they were tracked, they were punished.
This program on equipment type approval by the Nigerian Communications Commission is therefore aimed at informing and educating stakeholders and the public on the need to ensure that all telecoms equipment used in the Nigerian market are fully approved by the Commission.
Part of the unlicensed operators that are in the business are coexisting with them.
Go on our website and download our application form, submit to the NCC, then we'll review the device.
Punishment for faulting this directive is a jail term or the sum of 100,000 naira or both. According to the telecoms experts, equipment type approval is globally recognized, and NCC says counterfeiting is an economic sabotage, so the Commission will not encourage any form of illegality. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Now to security. Promoting peaceful coexistence, cultural harmony and integration among Nigerians remains crucial to the development of the nation. This was the position of the General Officer Commanding 81 Division, Major General Olu Irefin, at the Combined West African Social Activities held in Bonny Cantonment, Lagos. Lynn Leneke reports.
There is no doubt the armed forces have continued to play a significant role in the fight against insurgency. In this regard, the need to remain focused, dedicated, resilient in order to consolidate the achievements recorded so far and re-strategize is paramount. This convergence of officers and men of 4 directorates of the Nigerian Army is an avenue to promote civil-military relationship, foster comradeship and esprit de corps among officers, men and their families.
The Directorate will continue to confront the present contemporary challenges facing our nation by paying particular attention to the Chief of Army Staff's strategic directive.
The General Officer commanding 81 Division, Major General Olu Irefin, was emphatic on maintaining a high level of security alertness.
Similarly, be familiar with the environment, monitor and report strange occurrence or unusual activities to the appropriate authority.
Showcasing Nigeria's rich and diverse cultures featured prominently. Testing the level of physical fitness of troops, a tug-of-war between the Chief of Army Staff and General Officer Commanding 81 Division teams was held. The 2019 Combined West African Social Activities (WASA) was organized by the Directorates of Automated Data Processing, Chaplain Services, Islamic Affairs, and Nigerian Army School of Public Relations and Information. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
Away from security now, world-leading diaper manufacturer Kimberly-Clark has launched the Huggies nappy pants into the Nigerian market with greater assurance of all-night dryness and comfort for babies at all times. The product was launched amidst fanfare and demonstration of how the nappy pant can be used. Michael Olale reports.
It's Huggies Wonderland as depicted by the settings. It was a perfect atmosphere to thrill children and moms to the innovation in nursing babies. While the excitement continued, the organization used the platform to stress the advantages of Huggies nappy pants over competitors.
The beautiful thing about the nappy pant is also the fact that we have a breathable liner that is all the way through the pant itself. And what does this do? The importance of this liner is that it ensures that moisture does not leak out onto the baby. We also have what we call the super absorbent. Now, we currently have one of the best super absorbents on the market, which ensures that moisture is absorbed and locked away in seconds.
As an household name with 30 years of credibility in delivering caring values to mothers, this new line of product is a direct response to the demand of the working mothers.
We try to be a one-stop solution around baby care and diapering for mom. So we now have open diapers that probably are for younger children, and on top of that we also have Huggies wipes, which make sure that as when you change your baby you can wipe them clean and make sure that there's no rashes that will develop on the baby.
For some of the Nigerian moms present at this launch, the prospect of changing their baby's diapers without stress is exciting, while they also commended the manufacturer for using innovation in solving their most pressing need.
No, it's like pants. So if you're wearing, there's no need of wearing another pants again on top of it. You just put it on freely. When I had my first baby, I used it. The comfort and everything, it's superb.
The Huggies nappy pint is designed for babies between 3 months and 2 years with sizes ranging from 3 to 6, while a pack is sold for 1,700 naira only.
That report by Michael Olale ends our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja after this break. Please stay tuned.
This year, the weather conditions Harmattan in Nigeria is harsh, with temperature dropping very low in some parts of the country. Many underprivileged children are exposed to these harsh weather conditions, putting them at risk to all sorts of respiratory infections with devastating consequences. We request well-meaning Nigerians to kindly donate warm clothing, blankets, beverages, soap, moisturizers, and other essential items for the benefit of these children. Get involved to support displaced and underprivileged children exposed to these harsh weather conditions. Powered by Aisha Buhari Foundation.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) strategy in generating more revenue for national development is the focus this week on NTA Tuesday Live. The chairman, FIRS, Mohamed Nami, will lead panelists to explain the tax regime. The program at 10:30 p.m. will be incisive and educative. Join us.
Coming soon in March 2020 in the capital city Abuja, the Ivory 8 Ball, a life-saving fundraising event featuring music and arts in aid of skin cancer patients with albinism. For participation and sponsorship, please call Edidio, Chinwe. This event is supported by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA TV Enterprises, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, and the Albino Foundation. The Ivory 8 Ball for a worthy cause. Watch out.
Sunday morning, 11th of March, was a regular day. I wake up, go to work, then I got to the toll, and the XUV was coming back from the club, and it hit the passengers bus, which I was inside, the commercial bus.
When I got there, I saw his state. It wasn't hopeful.
I just wish he's fine. I wish he gets back to what he used to be.
Sports coverage and reporting require special skills which can only be acquired through training and experience. NTA TV College JOS invites sports reporters, administrators, commentators in the private and public sector to a special 2-week capacity building course on sports coverage and reporting skills in broadcasting. The course will equip participants with contemporary reporting skills for local and international sports and also expose participants to modern trends in sports commentaries, scripting, shooting, directing, and much more. Take advantage of the course to develop your skills and capacities in sports coverage and reporting. Date 17th to 28th February 2020. Course fee 80,000 naira only, accommodation inclusive. Running concurrently is a special 4-week intensive course on record management and registry functions. Participants will be tutored on modern techniques of record keeping and registry management. Date 17th February to 13th March 2020. Course fee 100,000 naira only. Accommodation inclusive. Venue of both courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos, Plateau State. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
Many thanks for staying with us. The need to embrace the alternative dispute resolution mechanism in order to decongest the apex court, especially with the ever-increasing number of appeals that flood the court on daily basis, has been reechoed once again by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed. The Chief Justice of Nigeria made the appeal at a valedictory court session in honor of Justice Amiru Sanusi, who was described as one of the finest jurists. Justice Amiru Sanusi, who was born in Funtua, Katsina State in 1950, started his elementary education in Gundidi in 1957 and obtained his law degree from the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria in 1977. He had a stint with the Nigerian Railway Corporation as an account clerk before his appointment as magistrate in 1979. After giving much to adjudication as a High Court judge, he was elevated to the Court of Appeal in 1998 and to the Supreme Court in 2015. His retirement is said to have drastically reduced the number of Supreme Court justices to as low as 13 instead of 21 as provided by the Constitution. Still on the judiciary, the fourth prosecution witness Abubakar Umar in the ongoing trial of former Benue State Governor Gabriel Suswam Monday told the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja how he personally took $15.8 million to Suswam in Government House. Let's hear from Olabode Arewa.
In evidence by the prosecution counsel, Rotimi Jacobs, SCN, Abubakar Umar, the fourth prosecution witness, in continuation of his testimony, told the court that while EFCC's investigation was ongoing, the former governor asked him to see his counsel, and he went to meet with the counsel, who asked him why he insisted on going on with the case. Mr. Umar told the counsel that the question should be directed to Mr. Suswam. He also told the court that the naira sum he converted came to $15.8 million, which he personally delivered to Suswam at Government House. Suswam's counsel, Chinelo Ogozo, however, asked the witness to clarify what he meant by Government House. Mr. Umar further said that the Government House was the residence of the former governor, where he normally goes to deliver money. Gabriel Suswam and his finance commissioner Okolobia Omadachi are facing a 9-count charge of alleged fraudulent conversion of 9.6 billion naira Benue State funds to personal use. The money was realized from the sale of the state's shares in Benue Investment Company. After listening to the argument of both parties, Justice Okonabang thereafter adjourned proceedings on the matter to Tuesday and Wednesday in Abuja, Labodarewa. NTA News.
And we hear that CAM has returned to areas where there were demonstrations as a result of the ban placed on operators of commercial motorcycles and tricycles in Lagos. Let's join Abolade Salami live in Lagos to give us an update. Abolade, I don't know if you can hear me now. What's the situation like over there?
All right, Roots, if you can hear me, thank you. I'm presently at Ojuelegba bus stop, where vehicular movement is so free. Vehicles coming in from island, going to the mainland, are going without any stoppage, while those coming in from the mainland into the island are experiencing same. The only problem I'm having, if you look around at my right-hand side, some passengers are here still stranded, trying to catch up with a bus to get to their destination. The funny thing here is that Lagosians are now coming to terms with the fact that there is no longer Keke Marwa or Okada operation in Lagos, Ruth.
All right, Bolade, thank you very much for that update. But, you know, it's quite surprising that CAM has returned so soon, considering the fact from what you just said that they're already adapting to the situation. Now, that is one means of transportation for a lot of Lagosians there. How are they taking it? You hear me? Should I take it again for you? Abolade, I don't know if you can hear me. You said CAM has returned. Now, what is the situation like for Lagosians, knowing fully well that with the heavy traffic that is usually a situation there, how are Lagosians adapting to the situation, you know, just in time? Okay, our correspondent there, Abolade Salami, giving us an update, but he seemed not to get what I'm saying. So let's move on. He's reporting live from Ojuelegba in Lagos. But let's look at other issues now. Contemporary threats within the maritime domain, advancement in technology and changing operational concepts are some of the growing challenges facing the Nigerian Navy. To surmount these and raise up to the emergent threats, adopting knowledge-based approach to leadership through training and retraining has become imperative. Umo Basiedet will take the story from here.
Developing a credible naval power in fulfillment of the Nigerian Navy's constitutional roles towards enhancing national prosperity and security is the vision of the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Etibas. In keeping with this, selected officers converged on Calabar for 3 weeks of rigorous training at the Naval War College, Nigeria, aimed at preparing them for command responsibility ashore and afloat.
Training is to arm them with the tools required for effective leadership to enable them carry out their functions for enhanced operational effectiveness in the Nigerian Navy. The objective of the course, which is to enable them to become better leaders, better managers of resources, and to better appreciate command responsibility, it is sufficient for them to be able to do that, so that when they are deployed in their next duties as commanders of ships or shore-based establishments, they will function effectively.
Participants of the Command Level Officers Course 3, armed with better communication and ethical skills, as well as the core values of teamwork, integrity, and professionalism, were awarded with outstanding graduates, also rewarded.
Knowledge gained from the course will be quite very useful to us as tactical level commanders. We have been exposed to various leadership and management styles. We have been well equipped, and I'm prepared to go to the field and then train my men better and equip them better.
It is expected that the training would improve the overall command triad of effectiveness of command, leadership, and management in the Nigerian Navy. In Calabar, Umo Basidet, NT News.
Still on security matters, curbing small arms proliferation and having a review of current strategies towards strengthening the security architecture are some of the solutions profiled by a guest on NTA's program Good Morning Nigeria, while analyzing ways of tackling Nigeria's security challenges. Let's hear from Alika Okmanachi-Arua.
The federal government expressed deep concern over worsening state of insecurity in parts of the country, with a resolve to give greater attention to tackling it. The attention was prompted by increased spate of kidnaps and gruesome murder of some Nigerians by terrorist groups. The development also asked the National Assembly to consider other options of addressing the challenge. It was the turn of guests on Good Morning Nigeria this Monday to deliberate on the issue. A major outcome of the discussion was the condemnation of what it says is politicization of insecurity.
While we are deploying core law enforcement approaches to tackling crimes, the political class, the policy formulators, they must also be busy dealing with the challenges that comes with educational exclusion, for example.
Basically, what we're seeing in the country is a situation where there is more demand for security in the past 1 decade, despite all, than the supply to date.
Crime has risen in this country and it's becoming business. That's why he's talking of demand and supply. Now, the demand is not only for talks. That must be stated very clearly. The demand is that crime is a business.
The guest advocates strengthening of the Criminal Justice Act to reverse prevailing mentality of sacred cow.
We need to have a commission that would actively go out there and mop up the small arms and light weapons, because there is no crime that is committed without small arms and light weapons. So how do you hope to deal with crime if those weapons are out there in circulation?
They also raised the bar on calls for the use of robust intelligence gathering and citizens' participation in line with international best practices. In Abuja, Alika Okmanachi-Arua, NT News.
And at this point, we're heading to Makurdi to join Charles to give us news from that end. Hello, Charles.
And welcome to Makurdi. Governor Samuel Otom has directed security operatives to arrest and prosecute the perpetrators of the Jomu crisis in Benue State, which occurred recently. The governor stated this when he undertook an on-the-spot assessment of the crisis area, which has left 3 persons dead, destroyed much property, and rendered many people homeless. Bem Hanya reports.
Governor Samuel Otom, who was in company of the members of the Benue State Security Council, decried the level of destruction, pointing out that people who have lived together for a long time have no reason to resort to carnage, while calling on those who fled the area to return back home because of the restoration of peace in the area. The governor directed the secretary to the state government, Professor Anthony Ijoho, to unravel both the direct and remote causes of the crisis. He warned that no individual owns land outside government, and that those who champion the discrimination between indigenes and settlers should desist from such divisive tendencies.
These are people who have lived together for a very long time, and there is no basis whatsoever. Whatever was the provocation couldn't have warranted the destruction that I've seen here, and this will not be accepted. We will not tolerate it.
Normalcy has since returned to the area with the presence of security operatives. In Makudi, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
From the health sector comes a report that the Benue State Ministry of Health has assured residents of its readiness to strengthen surveillance in the state to prevent any possible case of coronavirus and the spread of Lassa fever. Director of Public Health Dr. Tena Ku stated this in an exclusive interview with Sandra Dowese Akeme.
Coronaviruses are a group of viruses that cause diseases in mammals and birds. In humans, the viruses cause respiratory infections which are typically mild, including the common cold associated with severe acute respiratory syndrome. Common signs of the infection include fever, cough, shortness of breath, headache, and sore throat. To avert this, the Benue State Center for Disease Control has strengthened its emergency coordination and surveillance teams to be at alert.
We have just concluded a meeting here to strategize on how we can reach out to the public about the fact that the disease is there, but it has not come over to us, but that we should not sleep over.
For the purpose of surveillance, we also have community definitions for such things, so that people around can also participate in fishing out people from the community themselves for this.
On the reported case of Lassa fever in the States, the center also confirmed that only one person had been infected. They said the infected person had been confined at an emergency operations center for proper treatments. In the same vein, the Ministry of Health says it has embarked on publicity campaigns on public health tips, and that arrangements had been put in place to mobilize traditional institutions for assisting in awareness creation for the containment of the viruses in the states. In Makudi, Sandra Dowese Akeme, NTA News.
And on agriculture, Benue State government is committed to improving agriculture value chain to boost food production and wealth creation in the state. Governor Samuel Otom stated this when he received a delegation of the Nigeria Agribusiness Investment Activity at Government House, Makudi, Bem Hanya Asmo.
Since inception, the Otom administration has introduced a number of reforms in the agricultural sector aimed at improving farmers' income and boosting food production in the state. It is against this backdrop that the Benue State government has been collaborating with the Nigerian Agribusiness Investment Activity to train farmers and assist them with agricultural financial knowledge. Governor Samuel Otom, while calling on financial institutions and the private sector to take advantage of the opportunities in the agricultural sector to invest, advised farmers to access the 2 billion naira facility available in the Bank of Industry to invest in agriculture.
Karaku maize with the capacity of 370 tons per day production. Soybean and maize is another huge opportunity that is awaiting investors to come in.
The Nigerian Agribusiness Investment Activity is assisting farmers to boost their yields in rice, maize, soybeans, cowpea, and aquaculture. In Makudi, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
With that report on agriculture, we are done from Makudi. Ruth, it's back to you.
Many thanks, Charles. And still talking agriculture, but this time around we're heading to Gombe. The federal government's relentless efforts aimed at achieving food sufficiency and enhancing economic growth in the country has received a boost, with the World Bank committing 18 billion naira for irrigation farming using the Dadinkowa multi-billion naira dam project in Gombe State. Now, this was made known when the chairman board of directors of the Upper Benue River Basin Development Authority, Bello Ayuba, led a team to inspect facilities at the dam in preparatory to the official commissioning of the hydropower plant of the dam. Let's hear from Abubakar Adamu.
As the second largest in the country, the Dadinko multipurpose dam is enough to irrigate the 30,000 hectares of land earmarked for it, in addition to generating 40 megawatts of hydroelectricity. But for now, only 100 hectares are being used. To maximize utilization of the facility, the Buhari administration secured 18 billion naira intervention from the World Bank for a trimming project that will develop 5,200 hectares of land for irrigation. A team of board of directors of the Upper Benue River Basin Development Authority, led by the chairman, Bello Ayuba, visited the site to break the good news to the farmers and seek their support. The team said contract has already been awarded for the development of 2,100 hectares as first phase.
It's community-based. The community are going to benefit from this money. If you convert this money to naira, it's about 18 billion naira.
The overall capacity for the irrigation, which is 30,000, the feasibility studies indicated over 200,000 metric tons of grains can be realized per annum.
The trimming project is a long-awaited opportunity for the farmers and other Nigerians willing to take irrigation farming as a business. The visitors also inspected the completed hydropower aspect of the Dadinko Dam to ensure that all is set for its official commissioning by President Muhammadu Buhari any moment. From the hydroelectricity to water supply, irrigation, fishing and other recreational activities, the dam, when fully operational, can generate as much as 10 billion naira revenue annually, according to experts. In Gombe, Abubakar Adamu, NTA News.
And on reviving textile industry in Zamfara, as part of efforts to create jobs and drive economic activities, the state government is collaborating with some relevant stakeholders to revive the moribund textile industry in the state. The special advisor to the Zamfara state governor in charge of Directorate for Accelerated Cotton Development, Abdullahi Meturare Shinkafi, stated this while on an assessment visit to the Zamfara textile industry and some other cotton processing factories in Gusau. Salamatu Umar Abdullahi reports.
Governor Bello Muhammad of Zamfara State recently announced his administration's decision to partner with some Chinese investors to revive the production of cotton in the state through the provision of quality seed and other incentives to farmers for massive production of the cash crop. It is against this backdrop that the Special Advisors and State Directorate of Accelerated Cotton Development, Alhaji Abdullahi Metrari Shinkafi, embarked on an assessment visit to the textiles industry and gineries in Gusau, the state capital, to interact with their proprietors as part of strategies to ensure the successful implementation of the initiative. The tour covers the state textiles industry and about 20 gineries that had been out of operation since 2004. Factors militating against the production of cotton and the survival of the textiles industry were the major concerns raised by the stakeholders during the visit.
As long as you are going to compare with us, we do our best in this textile will come back to life.
An official of the Zamfara textile industry and the proprietors of the gineries applauded the state government for the wonderful initiative, expressing confidence that it will go a long way in addressing the problem of unemployment for improved security and stability in the state and the country as a whole. The new initiative for accelerated cotton production in Zamfara State is built to take off soonest. From Gusau, Salamatu Umar Abdullahi, NTA News.
In other news, Kebbi State Government has inaugurated a group of professors who are indigents of the state, selected from various tertiary institutions across the country, and to head the 21 local government area education authorities in the state. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, who performed the inauguration, said the aim was for them to help raise the standard of basic education in the state, saying that each university done will serve in a local government area of its origin. Osman Abdullahi Shehu has more on that story.
The inaugurated chairmen are members of academia and experts in education. Despite being indigenous of the state, each chairman was assigned to work under his local government of origin to ensure success, as stated by Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu while delivering his inaugural speech. Governor Bagudu, who thanked them for accepting the challenge, described education as everybody's business, emphasizing the need to put hands on deck to revive the sector with emphasis on basic education.
We are not alone in the challenge, but we want to present a different approach, which I believe we will teach the world to copy.
The state consultant of the federal government and World Bank Educational Intervention Program, Basic Education Service Delivery for All, Professor Abubakar Abdullahi Bagudo said the $611 million program is expected to address the challenges of basic education and out-of-school children in 17 states with educational disadvantage in the country.
So we have to now make sure that we swing into action immediately after this swearing in ceremony. It is not a light job, it is a Herculean job, but with determination we can deliver because we have been given opportunity to do our work.
In his fatherly advice, the Emir of Gwandu Alhaji Muhammadu Ilyasu Bashir urged the public to complement government's effort to revive education. Other stakeholders at the occasion commended the effort and registered their support. In Burning Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And from Burning Kebbi, we're heading straight to Enugu to join Oka Obasi to take it up from here. Hello, Oka.
Hello, Ruth. Good afternoon and welcome to Enugu. To enhance efficiency and effective response to emergencies, the Enugu State Fire Service has taken delivery of 5 new fire trucks procured by the state government. Handing over the fire trucks, Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi reiterated government's commitment to the safety of lives and property of all residents of the state. Susan Eze has details.
Fire incidents, whenever they occur, leave its victims in pain and penury. Determined to increase the efficiency and responsiveness of the Enugu State Fire Service, the state government is not only increasing the number of fire stations in the state, but also upgrading the fire departments with equipment and manpower. Latest addition to the work tools of the state's fire service is 5 newly procured firefighting trucks for the 5 new fire stations across the 3 senatorial zones in the state. Secretary to the state government, who performed the handover ceremony on behalf of the governor, appreciated the improved performance of the firefighters in response to emergencies.
In the past, we had only 3 fire stations in the whole of the state. This administration came in and realized the important role that the fire service play in the security of lives and property, and this administration went ahead and established 5 other fire stations.
The Enugu State Fire Service, according to the Chief Fire Officer, Okudere Oha, has been transformed from a moribund department to an effective, efficient and responsive service. 62 newly recruited and trained firemen also received their certificates at the ceremony. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
The Nigerian Policing Program has held a stakeholders forum in Enugu to articulate plans to validate and adopt the 2020 State Policing Plan. James Obarekocha reports.
The Nigerian Policing Program is a British Council-funded program aimed at complementing and supporting the Nigerian police in the discharge of their duties in securing the lives and property of the citizenry. At the Stakeholders Forum in Enugu, the Enugu State Commissioner of Police, Ahmad Abdurrahman, represented by the Deputy Commissioner, said the police alone cannot do the work of securing lives and property.
We believe it's only when we are in high institutional degree of courtesy. But today, see drivers, mechanics, bricklayers, traders, everybody. Part of the parents' problem than the school agents.
The state intervention leader of Nigerian Policing Program said the program was designed to complement the efforts of the regular police, as they believe that effective policing must be community-oriented.
I believe that everyone in the community have a stake to play when it comes to improving peace and security in the community.
A paper was delivered on the strategies being used by the state policing program for a better effective approach.
We found out that cultism is prevalent and it has roots in other crimes, car snatching, kidnapping, rape. They have linked to cultism. Others like sexual and gender-based violence. We have the drug offenses, which also springs up more crimes.
Enugu State is one of the states where the program is being implemented. Other states include Lagos, Borno, Kano, and Abuja. The 3-year program started in 2017 and will end in March 2020 in Oparikocha.
And that's it from Enugu. It's back to Abuja after this commercial break.
Not so fast. Look, I'm tired. I want to check out of this country for greener pastures.
Just calm down for a moment. Please sit down.
Do you have a job where you're going to? No, but someone is arranging,
Listen, Alinko. Checking out of this country without proper planning means one thing. Unimaginable begin. I've been in the diaspora, but legitimately doing great things at home and abroad. As I've been saying, without the proper footing abroad, the risk is not worth it. Listen, Alinko, it's better to be home than be trapped abroad, or even end up in prison.
My name is Yemi Adetunji, the COO downstream of NNPC. Ever since the closure of the borders, we have seen a marked reduction, about 10%, in terms of the evacuation of what you call loadouts of PMS, which equates to about 6 million liters per day, essentially because of the border closure. Because of certain aspects we've also done as NNPC, working with our sister organizations, sister agencies, Nigerian Customs, DPR, Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, and other agencies, and also what we call Operation White, which is an intervention we have put in place to trace and track every molecule of petroleum products as they arrive in country, through the vessels, as they move through the depots, and as they're evacuated with trucks out of the depots.
Lassa fever occurs when a person gets bitten by a rat carrying the Lassa virus. It is also contacted through the consumption of foods that have been contaminated by either the saliva, urine, or excreta of the rats. Lassa fever is deadly, so protect yourself and loved ones from it. Keep rats away from your homes. Ensure that leftover foods are properly covered at night and heat up properly before consumption. Wash fruits properly before you eat. Maintain regular hand wash with soap and water, as well as environmental sanitation. Report all feverish conditions and bleeding from the nose or mouth to the health facility nearest to you, and don't indulge in self-medication. This message is from the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile.
Get the latest news and updates from across Nigeria on NTA Nationwide.
Thanks for staying tuned. Let's head to Maiduguri to join Abubakar to bring us more reports nationwide. Hello, Abubakar.
Hello, Ruth. It's good to see you, and thanks for joining us here in Maiduguri. With government's agreement to publish its financial dailies as provided in the policy guidelines, a sensitization on transparency guideline and portal has been held for federal government agencies as well as civil society organizations in Borno State. Yagum Subuka reports that the sensitization was organized by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation.
The sensitization, which is aimed at ensuring accountability in governance in order to pave way for citizens to follow up government's programs, had accounting officers, heads of account, internal audit and final accounts from all federal agencies in Borno, as well as civil society organizations.
It's just showing the policy of the federal government of Nigeria, how transparent the government is.
As an auditor, actually anything where transparency is, where
federal government want to be transparent
and publishing his account so that citizens can log in and check what federal government is doing in his policies.
In a paper titled Financial Transparency, Policy and Implementation Guidelines by the Project Officer, Public Financial Management, Mohammed Arab Kolo, explains that the policy is aimed at timely availability of financial information to the public by all MDAs of the federal government, through which a strong partnership against corruption will be laid.
Informations are open and readily available for them so that they can assess their government's performance on daily basis, weekly and quarterly.
Participants were also sensitized to walk through the portal and how to address it by the State Support Officer, Chief Umar Chalubi. To get more information about the federal government's open treasury, one can log on this portal, www.opentreasury.gov.ng. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
Theater Commander Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Olusegun Adeni says Boko Haram terrorists will no more pose a major threat to the northeast as the insurgents' goals and objectives have failed with the current tempo of the counter-insurgency operations by the military. The theater commander stated this while briefing newsmen in Maiduguri on the command's operational successes. Memuna Garba reports.
The press briefing, which was done with the aid of projector by the theater commander, highlighted the stages through which the Boko Haram terrorists metamorphosed over the 1 decade of heinous activities, how it started operating as a cell to a terrorist army. However, General Adeni said concerted efforts of the military has thwarted all terrorist strategies through rigorous and offensive operations, as well as the subsequent adoption of super camps, among others, forced the insurgents to revert to how they started.
The strategic goal of Boko Haram is not to kidnap one person on Maiduguri and behead him. The strategic goal of Boko Haram is not to go and attack one small village, set primary school on fire. The innermost desire of Boko Haram is to establish a geopolitical entity and a pan-Chong caliphate. They failed because the military made them fail.
The theater commander has again reiterated the military's continued determination to deal decisively with the marauding insurgents, stressing that more equipment are being provided to the army in the theater as the federal government has continued to empower the military. He further said that the military system is not bad nor shaken and has remained focused as there will be no compromise for Boko Haram and other terrorist groups outside the country. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
General Officer Commanding 7th Division, Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim has handed over about 300 livestock to Borno State government recovered from Boko Haram terrorists by troops of Operation Lafia Dole. Memuna Garba again reports.
The livestock, which comprised of 158 sheep and goats with 14 cows, were confiscated from Boko Haram terrorists by troops of Operation Lafia Dole 7th Division at Mulai Delwa General Area. According to the GOC, Brigadier General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim, the troops in the course of operation came across insurgents who rustled the cattle, where they engaged them and recovered it. While assuring people of the military's effort to protect the people, General Ibrahim further said troops will continue with their gallantry to deny terrorists the freedom to continue with their dastardly acts.
What happened today is a small proof of our intention, because these things belong to law-abiding citizens. They were carried away by force, use of gun and whatever, and we have recovered it.
Commissioner for Local Government and Emirate Affairs Sugunmai Mele commended the Nigerian Army for recovering the cattle, stressing that this is not the first time they are handing over seized livestock from insurgents.
And then, since the GOC has now handed over to us, we will invite the chairman, Meeti Allah, so that the similar exercise will be taken.
The commissioner assured the military of Borno State government continued support in ending the Boko Haram crisis. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Maiduguri. Let's now rejoin Ruth in Abuja for the last segment of Nationwide. Good afternoon to you.
Very well, Abubakar. And sports update is next with Olumide Aguntola.
Ilorin West Local Government Area has emerged the winner of the year 2020